welcome to Life Guidance from Beyond. We're your hosts, Deborah Rogers, holistic occupational therapist, certified trauma specialist, and intuitive healer, and
Jenna Murphy, communications executive by day, and intuitive medium and spiritual coach by night. On our show, we'll be channeling wisdom from beyond to help you tackle the everyday challenges of being human.
So let's explore the wisdom beyond and find new ways to navigate life together.
Hi, welcome back to Life Guidance from Beyond. I'm Jenna.
And I'm Deborah. So the episode 2, what we talked about a lot of is about how we can sense and pick up fear or anxiety or emotions from the collective. And we're talking about Earth. Even Earth is shifting, and we can pick up from that change of vibration as the Earth shifts. But also what the collective of people as a whole on Earth feel, we can pick up. And also what we experience ourselves individually, our emotions, and how we also have a choice and we have control over what we want to feel, whether we want to be in a place of fear and anxiety or a place of joy. And yeah, it sounds a lot easier said than done, right? So today we want to share a life hack, an anxiety hack with you.
Yay. I think I could use this. I'm excited.
So what I do with a lot of my clients is I do a quick short meditation called Not Mine. And the reason for this is because a lot of times we pick up anxiety from what I was talking about before, about from the collective, but we also pick it up from even our colleagues or our family, or we pick it up from our past, right? From our childhood. Maybe like a mom or dad was feeling anxiety, and as a kid we picked that up, or even before we were born. So what it is, the whole idea behind it is we don't need to hold on to this anymore, all right? So I invite you to either have your eyes open or closed and just get comfortable. And just taking a few deep breaths. Just exhaling out the day. And as you inhale, just coming into your body and saying hello to your body. And exhaling out the day, settling more into your body. And after your last exhale, I invite you to bring your awareness to the soles of your feet and really feel them. If they're on the floor, feeling the pressure perhaps on the floor, or even if they're lying in bed, feeling the heels on the bed. And then imagine roots or a beam coming from the soles of your feet and going all the way down to the center of the earth. Down, down, deep into the earth. And when you feel like you're there, you just say connect. And if you're having trouble with this, perhaps imagining that you have bare feet on the sand of a beach, or in the cool dirt and soil in a forest, whatever works for you to feel like you're connected to the earth. And then just saying hello to Mother Earth. And then you're going to bring your awareness back to your body. And you can repeat these words, whatever words work for you. Just say, I invite my body to release all anxiety, emotion, stress that are not mine from past, present, future, all planes of existence. I invite it to release from my body to Mother Earth as fertilizer. And just notice what you feel. And if you feel like your body's having a little trouble releasing this, what you can say is, I give my body permission to release all energy that is not mine. It's not my job to hold anxiety or emotions from other people, to hold other people's energies. It's not my job. I don't need to hold on to this. I give my body permission to release it. And just notice what you feel. And then again, as we come to an end, just connecting your awareness to Mother Earth and just thanking her. And the intention was that we're not calling it negative energy. It's just extra energy we don't need. And it's going down as fertilizer for the earth. And then when you're ready, just bringing your awareness back to your body, back to the room, opening your eyes.
I feel so calm.
I know, I do too.
Oh my goodness.
I didn't realize today how much I was holding.
So helpful. May I share a story?
Yeah.
Okay,
please.
so many of you who are viewing this may be also an empath. And for those of you who aren't familiar with the term, an empath often picks up vibrations from others very easily, and sometimes it can be hard to differentiate. Is this my feeling, or is this somebody else's feeling? And I had a huge aha moment during COVID when I went to the grocery store and I was looking at the meat area and it was completely empty, all gone. And in my mind, the thought that went through was, oh my God, we're all gonna die.
But a lot of people thought that.
And I did that. I knew at that moment I was not worried. I was not worried. That was not my worry. And I was tapped into the collective because it was very palpable, the fear that was around.
Yes.
So practicing an exercise like what you just shared with us is super helpful, especially for empaths who are picking things up sometimes, most often, I think, unknowingly. So I appreciate that you shared that.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I think we're all empaths in a way. Sometimes people are great, pick up energy a little more than other people. But I think what I found, it's so important to have a sense of emotional intelligence. And by that I mean to understand your emotions, to understand what's yours and what's not yours. And the more you're aware of your emotions, of how you express your emotions or how you process, the more you are aware, like, okay, that's me holding on to this. I don't need to pick up this. Or, oh, that's my emotion, or that's not my emotion. I have an interesting story, actually. When I was doing Reiki, when I worked in a hospice, and I was doing it on a patient, and it was pretty intense. She was, I could tell she was transitioning. And then I was in the car going back to my office, and I just felt so much grief. It was fascinating, and because I know my emotions, it's okay, wait a minute. Why would I knew this woman, and I had worked with her before as an OT in home care in my previous job. So I was connected to her, but I'm wait, this is not grief for her. And so I was just asking myself questions, trying to figure out what is this grief? And I realized I had picked up from her and her family. That's what I was feeling. And so when I realized that, I was able to, it almost cleared suddenly. It was really fascinating. And that's what I mean by understanding our emotions, what's ours. And even just asking ourselves, having an inner dialogue. Okay, why am I feeling grief right now? What would make me feel grief? Why is this here? And just dialogue with myself helped me to understand, even where could this come from? Yeah, it's really interesting.
That's so cool.
Yeah. So I don't know why. I just want to do my anxiety paper thing.
Okay.
I'm on a roll of talking about anxiety.
Yeah, perfect.
I hope I don't bring anxiety.
No.
So, all right. So this is kind of neat. I actually got the concept from Russ Harris in the ACT theory, the acceptance commitment therapy. So we're going to consider this anxiety, okay? And what happens to us is that we have anxiety and then we get anxious about having anxiety. right? And that brings on another layer. And then on top of that, we start feeling a bit overwhelmed, right? We're anxious about anxiety, and then we're feeling overwhelmed. And then we're like, I am so sick of dealing with all this anxiety. It makes me feel awful. And then we get angry. And we have this big ball of emotions, right? And then we try to push it down. And you know what? It's this huge ball that we just can't push down. So what if we first, before it becomes this big ball, focus on the feeling of anxiety. You see the difference? And this is what I mean about like processing and trying to understand what we're feeling. So perhaps when we feel anxiety or fear, grief, sadness, we can maybe just sit with it. Just like you would sit with somebody that's having a bad day. Like, oh, I'm here for you. What do you need? And even dialoguing with the emotion. See what comes up, that part of you. And the more you sit with it, it actually might start opening up a little.
So actually feel the emotion. Don't like say, oh my God, I don't want to feel this.
Right. Not pushing it away. And if it feels scary, just feel a part of it, or perhaps the outside of it, and just being with it. And that allows that emotion to open up. And when it opens up, it begins to process through instead of building into this huge ball. And the interesting thing is, what is it sitting on top of? What I consider this to represent my hand is unconditional love. That pure state of being that is us. So what if we use some of that unconditional love to help our anxiety? What if we show some love and compassion?
Some grace toward yourself.
I love that word, grace. Like perhaps just, I know this is hard, showing empathy. I know this is hard right now. Like, I'm here for you, anxiety.
Instead of getting angry at it and trying to push it away or ignore it.
Right, exactly. And so that helps it open up even more. And as it opens up, it becomes less scary. Right? And it doesn't seem like something we want to push away. And then when it opens up, we're able to process it. So those are two kind of little tricks for anxiety or fear, just emotions in general.
Super practical life hacks, which
I know
I'm
you
all
love life
about.
hacks.
I'm a Capricorn. I do love practical things.
There you go, folks. But yeah, what did you think about that?
I'm going to try it because I do tend to get pretty amped up at work during my work day. And I think maybe I need to just sit with my anxiety or whatever emotion it is that's arising and see how it changes my day.
Yeah. I used to, so a lot of times I'll do something where I have clients put their hand on their heart and send themselves love. And one of my clients, like years ago, called it heart hugging.
Oh.
And I love that. And it's just such a nice way to sit with yourself. And like, it also feels very grounding. Just applying touch to the heart. But yeah. So, Jenna, who do you think is here with us today?
Well, I am sensing a line of spirit.
I know, I was getting dizzy earlier.
Waiting
I held
for
my
you.
rock Jenna gave me.
Yes. Grounding crystals are helpful. I would love it if you maybe tapped into the all-knowing ones. And maybe you could tell people what that collective is that you channel.
All right, we'll see. Nothing like being on the spot. So the all-knowing ones are a group of collective beings that it feels very, when I go there, it feels very loving but neutral. And there's not judgment. It's more coming from a place of wisdom and and it's definitely a collective. And it's high vibration.
Yep. Okay. So I'm curious if they have anything that they feel might be appropriate for the audience that we have today.
So I'm just thinking it's funny, all these emotions that humans have. when there's just that state of being that we often forget about and miss. And we always have so many emotions, like the balls that just rise, rise, rise. And it's almost like I have a picture of like snowmen being built on top of each other. And it's very hard being human. What they want to say is, hey, please hold. So I'm hearing, I have to say, dear ones, I feel so often that people feel alone, and their emotions, as Deborah was talking about, they get caught up in it. Almost like when there's that ball, they're in the middle of that ball, and they feel like compressed by emotions. And when they're compressed by these emotions in that ball, what they don't see is what's on the outside of that ball. Like, we are with you. There are unseen and seen support. There is support all around you. And sometimes what happens is you get compressed like a trash compactor, and you are distracted, and you go within, but you go within the emotional turmoil instead of just pausing and allowing yourself to feel what is around you. And the problem is that humans, they're so caught up that they do not pause. And when they pause, they're giving themselves that chance to not just ground, but to feel unconditional love, right? Unconditional love is a truth that exists all around us, but is so really tapped in. And why, I ask you, is it so really tapped in when it is here for you to use? You are part of it. When you think of a piece of paper, think of that piece of paper as unconditional love, and you are on that paper. You are ingrained in that piece of paper. You make up that paper, for you are part of unconditional love. The truth of who you are, the essence of who you are, is in unconditional love. So please don't be dismayed by all these human emotions, and know those are emotions. Yes, they can be scary, but they're also things that can pass. Go back, become a witness of yourself. Yes, that's an emotion. Yes, that's a thought, and let them pass. Watch them. Empathize for yourself, but then pause and get back in touch with not emotions, but the true state of being of whom you are. You are blessed. You are all blessed creatures. You are all creatures from the high, if that makes sense to you. We are all creatures of beautiful vibration, beautiful light, and it is so forgotten on earth. There are wars that push you away from that. There should be no wars, because you are all love. And I don't mean the emotion of love. Yes, love is a part of unconditional love, but I mean a state of being. Can you imagine if we were all in the truth of us? There would never be a war. There would never be such unhappiness or fear, because we would realize we are all here for one another. We are all one another. We are all beings. We are all one piece of paper, right? So I send so much love and light to you, and I bless you. Know who you are. And yes, it may feel so difficult. It is so difficult being a human. But know that is just part of who you are, right? Just like that ball, if you want to think about it in another way, when she showed the anxiety, think of like just one ball is the being a human. But then you have layers of just beauty, vibrancy, unseen layers of your energy that just keeps expanding and building, going out into universes. And yes, not just one universe, universes, planes of existence. You are so much more of a gift than you may realize. Don't forget it. I offer you this. Please remember. And don't doubt. Yes, Deborah doubts. And it's okay to doubt, but always remind yourself, wait, I am a gift. I deserve more. I deserve this. As long as it is in the highest good of all of us. we told Deborah at one time when she used to speak in sessions and Reiki sessions, she would say, in the highest good of that person. We're like, no, always say in the highest good of all. Because that person is part of everybody. And so if you are giving healing to one person, you are also giving healing to all, just like on that piece of paper, to all, including yourself as a practitioner. So when you say in the highest good to all, you're including yourself as well. Thank you. I go in love and light. I'm like, I'm talking too much.
Wow. No, that was
Like, I think I need to stop. I don't know how long it went.
very powerful. That was beautiful.
To come down.
How do you feel when you're channeling? Do you feel any energy?
Yeah, it's like, whew, still force. Like, it's pretty, like it's a large force. Like, sometimes I channel, like I go fast because there's so much energy. And sometimes I'm loud. I get really loud because there's so much energy trying to come through, and I'm trying to like keep up with it. I think I was moving my hands.
That's fascinating. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, and they could go on for a long time.
Yeah.
Talking.
Yeah.
I kind of shut it down, like, wait, hold on. Let's check the time. Me being the human.
Yeah.
Part human, right?
Beautiful,
I don't know.
though. It was really, it wrapped all of what you were talking about into what it was communicating. So I love it. Loved it.
Thanks. Do you feel like you want to end here, or do you want to try channel?
No, I feel like you should more.
I should more?
Yeah. Is there any other being that you're sensing?
I feel like the Palladians.
Okay.
You're putting me on the spot a lot today, huh?
Yes.
In front of people. Are you feeling the Palladians?
Not so much. I just sense a lot of activity, beings around, and I feel compelled that you help bring them forward.
So what I'm hearing is we are watching and waiting. We are coming in and going. People are seeing us and tapping into us. I'm getting in my mind. Hold on. We are here with you. We've been here for many centuries. I actually hear millennia. Sometimes we give whispers and guidance to help assist you, on the path, especially during this shift, but also there's been many great shifts in the lifetime of this earth that we have been here. And some have seen us and recognized us. Some hear us as guides. But we are here more often. And we come to assist, again, is the message. There will be more times that we will be seeing other beings will be seen. And it is of the greatest good. It is not to be feared.
So, why are you visiting more often?
Okay. So what they're telling me is reminding me that in like another channeling, what happened, I gotta open my eyes, but what happened was I saw like a galactic council or whatever meeting, whatever you believe in, but it was interesting because the beings there, outer space, right, or on different planes, we're talking about how there's a shift that's happening, and that shift is also vibrating, and they're also going to be undergoing an energetic shift. But it's different because they don't have like matter like bodies like we do. They're more like energetic beings. So they are also preparing for these shifts. Actually, it's been actually happening, and so they're working with, and they keep preparing for more shifts. And sound like there's going to be even bigger shift. And it's almost like there's like when you throw a stone in a pond and there's ripples out. Well, the shift isn't just on Earth and just not just people, but it ripples out into the universe, out into the planes. And so some are preparing their own energy structure so that it is more integrated. I don't know if this answered your question, but the interesting thing is there's a connection that so many people feel things happening, and know that sometimes things feel like it's ramped up. And so it's just learn to just shift with it, right? To adapt with it. And that's also in the connection of kind of what we're also doing, right? We are beings that without bodies, but with energy. And we also have to adapt our energy. So we're understanding that they're like just showing you how there's a link. And in preparation for the future, letting you know we are not so different from you. Yes, there are differences. There are differences in what we know versus what you know. There are differences in how we travel. There is differences in the body form and how we communicate. But many of you also, including, continue to open up and are communicating with us telepathically, you call it. But knowing that there are similarities, that you are not just alone on Earth. We all, like, there's other beings. So, right, you can imagine like a wider, you're not just alone, right? And that doesn't mean, oh my God, let's fear, we're not alone, right? Like what you see in the movies sometimes. It's more like, wow, like what she was talking about earlier. What a beautiful concept, right? What beauty there is in knowing you're not alone. There's others with you. There's others see what's going on. There's others that's also experiencing like the ripples of what's going on. So when you think of like, oh, what's out there in outer space, it does not need to be with fear. It's like, oh, yes, it is more beings that are going through some similarities that we can connect with, that might even teach us something, right? Because really we're also here, all of us, to teach humans teach each other things, just like we're here to help teach you some things. And we learn from you as well, right? We watch and learn as well. But to get rid of that fear factor and know, like it's Deborah and Jenna, we're talking about connections. There are all connections, right? We also have connections.
So interesting.
Thank you.
It reminds me of when I had that angelic encounter where I was told I'll never be alone. And afterward, I started to research angels in general. And I learned about the law of free will and how we're here to learn lessons as a human. But there are beings that can help us, that we can call upon. But without doing so, they can't intervene unless it's a matter of life or death. It's not your time. Something major like that. So what I've learned to do is to ask for help, even in the smallest ways. I feel like it's an important lesson for all. I feel like it's because life is hard. It's not meant to be easy, but it also isn't meant to be miserably hard.
Right.
But unless you know about this law of free will, you're missing out potentially on a lot of support that the angelic and beyond angelic can assist with.
So just to be devil's advocate, I guess the question is like, how do you ask for help? Like, I know I've asked for help and I'm like, all right, where's the help?
Oh, yes.
Or maybe it comes months later, or maybe I never see it. So
Yeah.
I'm sure there's people that say they pray and, you know, but where's the help? Where's the guidance?
So I ask for help in my mind. I don't even speak it aloud. It's not necessary. And I often say, angels, please be with me now. And I'll sit. And I will feel the sensation of chills come over me. And to me, that's confirmation that they're with me. And then when I ask for help, whatever it might be, quite often it's work related, like to just want to get this assignment done and written. I ask them for help making it smoother, making it easier, helping me navigate challenges in life. If I remember to ask, I always receive help. I have never not. There were some really profound moments where it became, this is probably why I'm so confident that I get the help. There was one time I was driving and I hit a huge ice ball on the highway, blew out my tire. And I thought, oh my God, I'm on the highway. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I'm going to crash. And so I said, Archangel Michael, be with me now. Please protect me and bring me to safety immediately. Like, I just was very definitive about what I wanted. And then the next exit, I got off the next exit and I couldn't believe my eyes. Right in front of me was a police car, a tow truck.
Oh my gosh.
And a gas station.
That's
if I
not
need to walk
divine
to it.
intervention. I don't know what it is.
Right? And so I've had so many experiences like this that it has given me such confidence in this angelic realm that I feel particularly connected with.
Yeah.
And I feel a sense of everything will be okay in the darkest of times as a result.
And, I think you make two points stand out to me. And like one, it's like building a routine of asking.
Yes.
Because God knows I forget.
Yes.
It's like,
we're not.
and then it's when I'm
taught
desperate,
this.
I'm like begging, right?
Yes.
Right.
Right. And then you need it right then and there, and it might not manifest right then and there.
So it's building the routine. And the other thing, like the words like lit up when you said it to me, is sit. It's kind of like what I was saying before. And, like, God, it's hard to do. But like giving myself time to sit. Like I will ask for a healing just because of long COVID and stuff. Like, oh God, I'm having trouble breathing. Can you please just give me healing? And then I like get distracted, move on to something else. And like then I always hear, you have to wait for a moment. like just sit and enjoy the healing. It's like, we're so go.
Yeah.
And so
That's helpful. That's a helpful tip.
see, we're just full of tips today. Life guidance. But yeah, so making a routine, just asking, and I would say asking without expectations, right? Being open. Sometimes I feel like the answer comes in ways unexpected too.
Right. It can come in so many different ways. It can come in the form of an idea that you have that you think is your own but may be divinely guided.
Right.
It could come in a song that you hear on the radio. It can come by overhearing a conversation and it like just being the right message that you're catching as someone's having a conversation. So being open to how it comes is also important.
And numbers. Right? A lot of people see numbers.
Angel numbers. Yeah, those are fun.
4, 11, 11, or
Yes.
And you can always Google the meanings too, which is fun.
Yeah, that is fun. Could do a whole episode on that.
Yeah, we've got a lot of ideas for a lot of episodes. All right, so should we sum it up? Everything we talked about? What are you thinking?
I'm thinking that we close it out. Yeah.
Okay. So we gave a couple of tips of how to work with anxiety and emotions, and then we also talked about, just not feeling alone, knowing that you are, some people get mad at me when I say this and other people love it, so I'm just going to throw it out there. But I always tell people, and I'm not saying this in a religious sense, they are God, and I mean G-O-D, like gifts of divinity. We're all we're all very divine beings, right? And not forgetting that, and knowing we're much more than we are, and then remembering to sit, ask, and sit.
Yes.
Gotta remember that one. And making it a routine, which you're very good at, making a routine to ask for help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we
that
hope.
good?
Yeah, we hope this has been helpful for you and interesting and perhaps entertaining along the way. And we look forward to revisiting with you soon.
And I'll put Jenna on the spot next time.
Oh, great. Can't wait.
Thanks, everyone, for listening. Take care. Thanks for joining us on Life Guidance from Beyond. We appreciate your listening. And don't forget to subscribe.